Hey, so I wanted to talk about how I thought, or I guess one of the doubts, got the fidget toy, one of the doubts that I had in my mind about whether or not I'm trans, this is, my egg is cracked, I realize I'm trans, I've accepted it, I'm like, yes, I'm trans, let's go, but that doesn't stop the doubts from still like being there. So I'm out here thinking like, what if me being trans is just like a trauma response? Like just a trauma response. Before I came out as trans to my parents, I came out that I was dating my girlfriend. I was dating a girl as a girl. I didn't know, had no idea I was trans at that time. So yeah, that's what happened. And that first coming out, my parents rejected me, and it was really, really, really tough. Like I was ill prepared for it. My mom had told me a couple years before that she was going to work on her homophobia, which really shocked me because she raised me to be homophobic, like me and my brother. And now you're turning around and being like, I think that's not good. I was really angry, but I was like, okay, whatever. So fast forward, I realize I'm gay. I'm like, okay, she's been working, if she's following on, like actually doing what she's saying, she's been working on her homophobia for about like 2-3-ish years. It might not be fully worked on, but it might be good, right? And so what I realized, all that work that she may have done, and I think she did do some work, because then we'd have some conversations where I'm like, are you like an ally? Like, why are you chatting like that? That's weird. We'd have some conversations where she had like low-key defended like the LGBT community or whatever in some way, and I'm still homophobic, and so is my dad, like at this time, and we're like, you're weird. So she had worked on it, but in that work or that like growth, it didn't extend to her child, and which I find really weird. I don't understand. Like, to me, that's not working on your homophobia then. Like, if everyone else in the world can be gay, but the people closest to you, that's not work. I don't know what that is. That's like performatism, I guess. Like, I don't know what you would call that, but it ain't work. So I was sadly slightly optimistic with telling my mum. In my head, I was like, at first, it will be hard. She probably won't accept it. But later down the line, she's been working on her homophobia. She will come around. And it just never happened. And it really broke me. So I was ill prepared in that sense. So yeah, I'm broken. It was painful. It hurt. Like, I'm a people pleaser. Like, I just wanted to make my parents happy. And I did mostly what they would say. Like, to them, I was a very good child. Well, to them, they would say I was a good child, but at school, I wasn't always the best. But like, overall, I think they would say I was a good child. I just experienced a lot of love in my childhood. My childhood was like calm. It's that rejection was just mad. Like, nothing can prepare you for your parents rejecting you. Like, no preparation is gonna prepare you for that, because it's just like, it's never happened to me before. I've never been like just outright, no, that's not okay. You know what I mean? It's just a bit crazy. So I was really broken after that, and like a pain I've never felt before, and it was really hard to function after that. And I'm happy I had the strength to seek out therapy, which is what got me through that time. After like a couple months, I was like, I actually can't do this. Like, I think it might have been one day where I came home from work. I worked like night shifts, so I'd come back like in the morning. So I came back from work one day. I had like low-key cried at work, but like I had sucked it up really hard. Like, I was fighting the entire 5-hour shift, like fighting tears back, and because I was just so sad. And then I finally got on the bus and I sat at the back, and then I was like crying on the bus. And then I get home and I'm like, bruh, I just like almost broke down at work, cried on the bus for like the 100th time. I can't do this. I need therapy like right now. Like, this is bad. That happened. See therapy. Life is going good after that. And that was around when I started therapy. That was around the same time when I started questioning my gender. And so when I came out, it feels like when I came out to my parents, once everyone in my life knew that I was dating a girl, that I was gay, I always like describe it as like something unlocked in my brain. And then suddenly I'm able to start questioning my gender. You know what I mean? I have never once. There were signs in my childhood, sure. But like, I was not conscious of those at all. Not in the same way I was like being gay. Like being gay, having feelings for girls. I say gay as in girl liking girl, because that's what it was at the time. But like girl liking girl, like I had those thoughts like as a child. Yes, I did, but I pushed them down because I thought that was wrong. And like I thought everyone thought like that. Like they were there in the subconscious. Whereas me being a boy, it was so far back I couldn't see. Like I could not even understand, like it would never cross my mind, you know what I mean? So this is the first time. So I was shocked that I'm even questioning my gender. And like I was like, how have I, what? Like it was a lot of shock. Like, why is this happening? And like, why is this happening now? Like, why not when I was questioning my sexuality? What's going on? Fast forward, I realized I'm trans. I'm like, okay, cool. And then one day it occurred to me, and just a random thought just popped in, felt like out of nowhere. And I was just like, what if like it was just so hard at the time after I came out to my parents being me? What if it was just so hard and I didn't like it, all subconsciously, and my brain was just like, just do the opposite. The opposite of being me is, you know, change your gender. Like, be trans. You don't want to be that person, because that person, their parents doesn't even like them. Like, their parents don't even like that person. Who wants to be a person their parents don't love, don't accept? You know what I mean? Who wants to be that person? Let's be someone else. So I had that in the back of my mind a little bit, because I pushed it down, because I'm like, well, I didn't push it down like too hard. Like I made it there, but I only have so much space in my brain at a time to process certain things. So I was like, I'll come back to this at a later date. And I was thinking, I came back to it and I was just like, could that be a thing? I don't see why not. Maybe there's someone out there where that is a thing as well. I can, that makes sense to me. You know what I mean? Something traumatic happens that affects your sense of self, and so you want to be a different person. That makes sense to me. So I was like, what if that's what this is? What if that's the reason I'm trans? And so because that's the reason I'm trans, I'm actually not trans, because actually I just need to accept that person and be okay with being that person, the girl that was rejected by their parents. You know what I mean? And I thought about it and I was really scared, and it weighed on me, because like I thought that was such a valid reason for being, like it made sense to me, and I was just scared, and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be pursuing medical transition. So but then every time I went to like maybe even halt pursuing medical transition, there was the other part of me that was just like, no, stop, we want this, you need to go. You know, there's another driving force. So I'm like this, but I'm still going forward. You know, like if it's a graph, it's like this, but it's still going up. I'm still going towards medical transition, but I'm like, it's still trending upwards. There was that. And then yeah. And then also I had a conversation with my brother when I came out to him, and we were talking, and he mentioned the same thing. He's like, oh, this just, I was like, yeah, I'm trans, I go by he, him, blah, blah, blah. He's like, oh, this all just seems like it's a rebellion. It's just a reaction to how mum and dad treated you. And I'm like, that's crazy that you say that. Like, I thought that too. And then I was like, I mean, look, you may be right. At that point, I had I had hormones? No, I hadn't had hormones, but my endocrinologist appointment was coming up. Like, it was like next week. It was like round the corner, and like I was ready for it. I was ready for the appointment. I was ready for hormones. I was on the track. And he said that, and I was like, there it is again, you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's come up again. And I was like, you know what, like, I have thought about that. That's a genuine point, even though he's coming from a more transphobic framework, and I'm coming from a not transphobic framework. I was like, sure, I'll think about it. I'm not going to stop, but I'll think about it again. And then fast forward to now, almost 2 months on testosterone. What's the date? Oh, I'm recording with my phone. It's the 6th of February. So next week will be oh my God. Next week will be 2 months on testosterone. That's crazy. So next week will be 2 months on testosterone. And like last week and this week, I have just been thinking to myself, like, I can't believe I ever thought it was like a trauma response. I mean, I can, but I can't, because like now it just seems so silly. It just seems so silly, and like it feels like falling into the trap of trying to find a reason for something that just is. You know what I mean? Like trying to find a reason for why people are different so that you can stop it, so that you can halt it. You know, eugenics vibes. You know what I mean? We want to find the gay gene. We want to find out the reason why people are gay so that people can stop being gay, right? And I was coming at my the possibility of me being trans way too like logically. Logic is good, I guess, but I was coming at way too logically. I was like trying to find out why I'm suddenly questioning my gender. Now in my adulthood, I've lived like 21 years at that time. Why did I not realize? Why don't I have the same experience as like most other trans people who knew since day one, since like 3 years old, out the womb, yep, I'm not this gender that you think I am, I'm a different gender. Like, why is that not my life? And then I realize I'm trans, and it's just like, okay, why am I trans? Why? I wanted to do that. I didn't want to do that. I think subconsciously, I'm a why person. I need to know why things all the time, but it just doesn't work for things like gender and sexuality, because there's not a reason. There's not a reason why people are trans and gay and straight and cis, because it just is. You know what I mean? I don't sit there like, I don't sit there like, why are straight people straight? Why are cisgender? Why? I don't sit there doing that. But for me, I'm trans, I'm sitting there doing that. I think it makes sense, because being trans comes with a lot of hardships, and for me as a person, my life in particular, I knew I was gonna lose family. Like I knew if I came out and like I was like, yeah, I'm trans, I knew I was possibly gonna lose family, and that's what happened. And I was just like, okay, if I'm gonna possibly lose family over this, I need to know why. As if it will make it worth it that I'm gonna lose. You know what I mean? As if it will make it worth it. And it just sucks, because like I said, being on T now, I feel so much better. Like my brain is just running on the right stuff. It's running on the right oil for the car. I've put the correct oil in the car, and now the car works. And it's just like, I don't want to know why anymore. And I know the why. It's just because it is. Like trans people are just trans just because they're trans. Like I just am. Why are you a guy but you was born a female? I just am, bro. And I think like, if I was to ask like a cisgender guy, why are you a man? I think he would look at me like this. What are you even asking me? Like, what kind of question is that right now? If I was to ask a cisgender woman, like, why are you a woman? They're gonna look at me funny. Like, they're gonna be like, what are you on about? What do you mean, why am I? I just am. Same, bro. I just am. And like, I don't know why it feels silly that I ever thought that like it was just a response to that traumatic time when my parents rejected me. But like, I do know, like I said, because like, yeah, the person that was rejected, that person, yeah, I'm like, that girl got rejected. That girl's parents doesn't even love her, doesn't even like her. Like, you don't want to be that person. But it's like, nah, you actually are just trans. You did have a traumatic experience. I don't know if like this is like me, like, I don't know, trying to make out like what happened, my parents rejecting me, was not that deep. But like traumatic seems like too harsh a word, but there's no other way I can describe it. Like it actually was like quite traumatic. You know what I mean? Like, and so it seems too harsh though, but maybe that's just because the reality of it is just really hard to stomach, to even say like traumatic. Anyways, yeah, it just so happens that you are trans. Just because, like, people are different. That's it. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and be like, why am I black? Other than like genetic factors and like my parents are like Caribbean and born closer to the equator, all that garbage. It's not garbage, like all that stuff. Like obviously there's an actual reason why I am black, why my skin color is different. In the other aspects, maybe in the more social aspects of race, like why am I black? That's a weird question. What do you mean? Why are you black? That doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? Like, why am I attracted to guys? I just am. Why am I attracted to girls? I just am. It doesn't have an answer, and it just seems so stupid, and it's just so simple. And I think the internalized transphobia, that's basically it, actually. The internalized transphobia and combined with like me trying to logic my way and make sense of and like make me being trans worth it, kind of, is like all that in combination. I need to find the reason why. I need to find a reason why I'm trans. Why I'm trans. I actually started that thought and then I lost it and then I tried to save it. So I don't know if that made sense, because I actually had no idea why I started that thought just then. So that's annoying. So yeah, isn't that crazy? I think back and I'm like, nah, it wasn't a trauma response. It just is the way it is. And that's what I was saying. Like, I think internalized transphobia tries to tell us that there's a reason why people are queer. Internalized homophobia and internalized transphobia. And because my brother is coming from a more transphobic lens, I say more transphobic because that is what he is. He is transphobic. However, he's not so transphobic where he stops talking to me, which is great, actually, for my life, because that is that's hard to come by for some trans people, you know what I mean? So we still talk, but he's coming from a more transphobic place, and the transphobia needs to find a reason why people are trans, because being trans is bad and people shouldn't be trans. And so if we find out why people are being this bad thing, we can stop it. You know, that's the essence of transphobia. And so I have transphobia. I have internalized transphobia, of course. That's why he said that. That's why to him it looks like a response to how my parents treated me the first time round when I came out. And that's why I also thought that it was a response to how they treated me. You know what I mean? It's the internalized transphobia. And yeah, it's kind of, I don't think my internalized transphobia is like healed or anything, but it's really kind of crazy what being in the right headspace, being right, having your mind where it needs to be does. Like, it's crazy what it does, because like a lot of these doubts that I had just kind of low-key disappeared. You know what I mean? Like I'm out here thinking like, am I really trans? I don't have this experience. Am I really trans? I don't have that experience. Or like, my dysphoria is nowhere near as bad as like these people. Like, does that even really count? Am I actually even trans? And I started T, my head, like literally that week I started T, my head's just been right, and I'm just like, bro, I'm just me, I don't even care. Like, I'm just chilling. Like, there's no, like, thing like, oh, am I this, am I that? Like, I'm chilling. And, like, it's just because I'm in the right headspace. I feel like I'm doing better at work. I feel like I'm doing better, like, just in life. It's crazy, like, when you remove the disconnect that is happening in your brain from life. Life hasn't got easier, but I can tackle it better because I'm not also having this inner fucking fight. Like, I hate doing laundry, but it's like that much easier doing laundry now just because my head is right, which is crazy. I don't like doing laundry. I don't like it. It's long and it's like 7 fucking steps all wrapped up in one little fake faux step. But now I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Now there's no misaligned with my brain. I can do laundry a little better. And that's really nice. You know what I mean? I was thinking the other day, I felt like I would never have known any of this without testosterone because I didn't even realize that it was affecting me that much. Like, not being on T, not having the right juices flowing through me. And like, it just felt like there was too much. There's always too much going on in life. Like fucking random fucking bills coming out of nowhere. Don't even fucking get me started. Random bills. Every time I have to come home and do fucking chores after a long day of work, and there's issues at work, and then like I'm also like it's thing, and then all of that on top of here and there I get misgendered, I'm not feeling right in my head, like there's a misalign. It's just hard. But now like a whole section of struggle is just wiped out ish, you know, of the misalignment in my brain. It's just gone. And it's like, whoa, I can actually put more energy now into some tasks. Isn't that fucking crazy? So I actually didn't expect, I didn't want this video to be as long as it was, but I'm a yapper. Thanks for watching. I will catch you later. Like I said, I am almost 2 months on T, but my T prescription is fucked up because the GPs take way too long to do everything over here. So I'm actually going to run out. I'm going to run out tomorrow. Tomorrow I am set to run out on T. Let's see if it lasts another day. And I'm going to get a call from the doctors, the GP tomorrow, to see if they can prescribe me T instead of me getting private prescriptions. So hopefully that all goes to plan, because I don't want to be off T. I don't even want to be off T for a day, let alone what, maybe a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Okay, see you later. Bye.